Easy now. No need to hurry. Get your bearings and report to me upstairs.
What did they do?
Well, look what the doctor got. You're lucky they didn't notice just how thin you were under those bandages. Although, seeing someone wrapped up like that, they probably thought you had the scabbing plague. Heh? Look, laugh, but don't touch. Better keep that hood down, mind you. The living don't take kindly to seeing their future staring back at them.
This again? An animal stone. Freight or food?
Get me out of this cage and I'll make it worth your while. You in? Your guess is as good as mine. Someone screamed loud as a banshee. After that, pure pandemonium. They never even told me what I was accused of. Just dragged me down here. Set me free, and I'll set you free. A fair trade, I should think. Suit yourself. But we're all in the same boat here, so to speak. I'll await your return.
The Magister Guard snorts and sniffles as he sleeps. You're almost impressed that one man can make such a phlegmy racket. Before you can even touch the lever, you hear a sniff and snort behind you as the snoring Magister mumbles himself awake. One bloodshot eye opens, and then another.
Is my shift over? Are you here to relieve me? Wait, you're no Magister. You're a sorcerer. What are you doing here, filthy lizard? Choose your words carefully. My fists ache to meet a new face. A collared sauce freak thinks she can clobber a red? Damn fool. I should have known there'd be trouble.
So much for a peaceful stroll.
prisoner's buoyant voice darkens as his eyes rest on yours.
Ah, freedom. Tastes better than wine. I'm nothing if not a man of my word. And I did give my word I'd set you free, lass. Say your prayers while you've breath to speak them. The halls await.
What would he have to gain by killing me? I need to keep my guard up.
Empty.
Not the most elegant solution, was it? And I'm back where I started. Nowhere to go but up.
why you're looking at... There you are. Not too tight, I hope. The collar, I mean. Oh, not to worry. Every dog has to get used to its leash. In the meantime, your next stop will be Magister William. All passengers have to be registered in the ship's manifest, and he's the chap in charge of the logs. You'll find him on the other side of this deck, in the officers' quarters. Why, for my peace of mind, of course. Why don't you try casting one of those source spells of yours? See what happens. Oh, do go on. I won't hold it against you. Promise. My, aren't we a meek little lamb? Perhaps I needn't have collared you at all, though it does look darling on you. So let's just leave it on, shall we? Because to answer your question, what this collar does is this. It makes you unable to cast Source. For your own peace of mind, of course. Yours and the whole world's.
No marks, no indications of a storm.
Good gods! There's been a murder here.
Quite the mess they made.
A young magister stands pale and silent. Her knuckles whiten around her weapon as you pass. Behind the magister, a bloodied mass lies in a heap. Gore and limbs lie at odd angles. You can't make out a face amid the mess.
There's been a murder. A sorcerer was killed by one of your own. Lucky you were busy getting your collar fitted at the time, or you'd be a suspect like the rest of them. Waters is investigating. She'll figure out who did it. Always does. You surprised? You're one of them. You know what sorcerers are capable of? Whoever did this found a way around their collar and killed a man. Small ones this time, thank the gods. We'll find out who did it, one way or another.
No known associates. In fact, he seemed quite averse to spending time with the others. Ugly sight, isn't it? Burns me up this happened under our protection. We're extremely lucky no Voidwalker followed the source that did this.
She looks up at you with a mirthless smile.
I was on duty in your room when the murder happened. You were asleep the whole time. Didn't even stir. You're one of the only indisputably innocent people on the ship. Unless you can commit murder in your sleep, of course. Figured as much. Listen, I could use someone to keep their ears open among the passengers. Sometimes they clam up in front of a uniform. Bring me a good lead, and I'll throw in a shiny gold coin for you. How about that? Thanks. I just want to catch whoever did this before they hurt anyone else.
Why won't you sing? I forgot how to sing. I did.
My mum is afraid of lizards. I'm not. I think you're neat. I'd be happy if I had a tail.
Wow! Are you a dragon? You look like a dragon. But where are your wings?
Do you know Losa? She's a really good singer. I'm better though. Listen. La 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 la.
Ah, there you are. Wife.
Would you please tell this very charming gaggle of not at all brat-like babes that I am by no accounts this Losa woman, nor do I sing, in fact. I'm deathly allergical. How very correct you are, spouse of mine. Madame Josephine Gribbles de Peeb refuses to be confused with anyone else. What? What's so funny?
Her pinched face cracks into a great grin, and she shoos the children away from her with a laugh.
Yeah, okay, you found me out. Go on and git, and maybe I'll sing you something when I'm good and ready.
She turns to you, dark-eyed and dirty-haired, and smiles flatly.
Gotta keep ourselves entertained, haven't we? You presume right. Nope, trying not to find anything out either. Ignorance is bliss. The utterer, the better.
Suddenly, her eyes cloud to an unnatural black. Greyish veins run down her face, and her mouth tightens into a cruel sneer. As quickly as they came, the clouds clear. She smiles as though no change came over her.
Good luck, Chief.
Name? Well, you aren't here on my list. Scram, eh? We're trying to catch a killer here.
As soon as the Inquisitor gets here...
The Magisters are out for blood. You saw the body, didn't you? Big bruiser like you ought to be able to take 'em on.
How dare you classify
A
this...
broad dwarf sits totally upright on the bench, eyes closed, palms face up on his knees. His beard is a cascade of meticulous plaits, each one braided through with golden medallions. He raises an eyebrow as you approach, but doesn't open his eyes.
Listen up, Geralt. You hear that? The ship, of course.
A wave of sound washes over you. The unintelligible chatter of your shipmates, the groaning of wood from floor to ceiling, the boom, crash and crackle of waves around you, complaints from the sea itself.
And?
The fellow cocks his ear, listening.
That isn't anger, it's...
He cocks his ear to the other side, then smiles.
anticipation. She senses something. I'd hold on to my breeches if I were you, mate. That's all you hear, though. Listen close. There now, just like that.
Squeak!
Aha!
His eyes snap open as his countenance breaks into an expression of joy. One great paw claps you on the back. The other catches you before you lose your footing.
There, you heard it, didn't you? I knew it. I knew it. Aye, this is good news, kiddo. Good news. It's the wheel. The wheel. Don't you see, you beautiful idiot? Squeaks whenever the helmsman jerks it clockwise, which means we're heading east.
I've seen more appetizing things coming out of plague-stricken pigs.
Burn my beard. That means if we've been traveling for, yes, only 10.34 nautical miles to Fort Joy. Yeah, no indeed, kiddo. But that ain't my final destination.
The dwarf leans back from the table and strokes his beard, gold medallions jingling merrily. His eyes roll over to you.
That'll be all, thank ye kindly, kiddo.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce.
It was one of them. I know it.
Would you put a knuckle in it? I'm trying to...
Well, well. What have we here? A fresh face in this stale hell. Let's size you up, shall we? See if you'll do.
The lizard looks you up and down, like a farmer would a fetching horse. All of a sudden, he grips you firmly by the chin, with the intent of inspecting your teeth.
There's some discoloration, but I've seen worse. After all, one can't expect to find prime merchandise on a squalid little ship like this. Now then, to business. You will answer me 3 questions. The first one is this. Can you cook? Ah, music to my beleaguered stomach. On to the second question. Can you knit, weave? In short, tailor? Oh, but to feel the caress of satin on my scarlet skin once more. A most satisfactory answer indeed. On then to my final query. Have you the ability to administer the upkeep of one's personal appearance? The delicate art of cosmetics is what I'm after. The very basics, then. I suppose that's a start. So, 3 questions asked, 3 questions answered. Let's evaluate, shall we? As per your own testimony, you can cook, tailor, and groom. Well, that just about settles it. I offer you my sincerest congratulations. As of now, you are my slave. My slave, of course. Oh, but I see. Yes, I suppose it must take some time for the full extent of this honor to sink in. Anyway, you may leave me for a moment. We'll go over your duties once we reach Fort Joy. Now shoo!
Forgive me, kin. Were that I had more than gruel to serve. If I'd more than cornmeal and rotting roots, I'd concoct something more fitting. Meanwhile, the Magisters feast on honeyed meat behind this very wall. The indignity.
One of us wouldn't kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Just skip to the part where I reassure you and you shut up.
You think me mad?
Mad?
The elf is reading a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia. He looks up, his big round eyes scanning your body, absorbing every detail. He reaches out, flicks a finger against one of your scales, and rubs his chin.
Fascinating.
He sits back and returns to his book, flicking quickly from page to page, completely oblivious to your presence.
Ah, yes. The niceties. My name is Fane. I am a scholar from... well, I am a seeker of knowledge. That is enough. It is pleasurable to meet you. Is there? Wherever do you keep it? Certainly not in your books. I have been reading this one for several minutes, and I have yet to find a single insight into the mysteries of the universe. It is simultaneously too detailed and insufficient. I know the beginning of this tale and the end, but I am rather missing the middle. Tell me, what do you know of our world's history? Oh, please. I have no interest in that. Your books are too full of it already. No, I want to know about the Celestial. I want to know about your gods. This text tells me that they created all creatures, but nothing of what came before. Where did these gods come from? Who are their people? Where are the others of their kind? Of course you don't have any useful information. Why did I expect anything else? Now please, run along. I have a world to decipher.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
Here's the register, ma'am. Good, good. Magister Williams has just about done with the last passenger. You faring okay so far? Glad to hear it. You head on in now. Williams will get you sorted fast.
Mad? No. Insufferable? Surely.
What are you trying to hear anyway?
I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet long enough for me to listen.
An elf sits tucked away in a dark spot, lazily rolling dice onto the surface of a barrel. They sound like the dry cackling of an old witch.
Snake eyes.
She chuckles.
I bet that's just what they'll look like. Rolling dice. Deciding fates. Don't worry, honey. It isn't yours.
She looks you up and down with the merest hint of a coy smile on her lips.
Never say never, though.
She smiles contemptuously.
Just a kitten in a corner, aren't we?
I'm busy watching for clues, sorcerer. Go take your sub-story somewhere else.
A scruffy man lounges against the wall with scarred arms folded. A sly smile playing on his face, he stares across at the Magister guarding him. Noticing you, he straightens and beckons for you to come closer.
Watch your back, new fish. There's a murderer on board, and I'd bet 3 months' pay it's this tramp Ifan.
Rolling his eyes at the Magister's warning, the man named Ifan beckons again. He leans in and adjusts your collar with a sharp tug, balancing its weight so it no longer presses unpleasantly on your neck. He winks.
Pinches less that way, right?
Hocking a phlegmy gobbet in your general direction, the sullen Magister settles back to his task of glowering at Ifan. And now, you.
We used to know each other, more's the pity. I was his commander many, many, many moons ago. Isn't that right, Vic?
Standing far back from Ifan, the tight-faced Magister draws one finger across his throat in an elaborate fashion, but says nothing. Ifan grins, flashing pointed white teeth.
Same as he was at 14 years old. Only difference is somebody gave him a bigger sword and now he's Johnny Big Pants. Long story. Maybe I'll tell you about it in the Joy. Away from interested parties. No. The dead man, Finn, is it? I'd no business with him. And I wouldn't put a man down without good reason.
He glances over at Magister Victor, who's staring back at him with pointed intensity.
Damn shame sheer annoyance isn't reason enough. The Joy, I've heard a lot. Nothing good. No surprise there, since Bishop Alexander runs the show. Wonder if we'll get to meet the ringmaster himself. Not eager to bow before the great Bishop Alexander, son of the Divine himself. My sentiments exactly. But Vic here will blow a blood vessel if he hears you talking like that.
What are you conspiring about over there? You, Lizard, what's your name?
Oh, don't mind him. Vic's just got a bee in his bonnet. And that bee is me.
Name?
Magister Victor looks at you suspiciously, then scrawls something illegible down in a tiny notebook. He scowls at you as he stows the notebook back in his voluminous robes.
Away with you, at once.
Ifan performs an elaborate pantomime of keeping quiet, one finger in front of his lips as he leans back against the wall.
I've never dined on anything less than a dozen-course dinner, and I don't intend to do away with the custom.
Well, there has been a murder, Your Majesty. Maybe that has the Magister's more concerned than your appetite.
Don't you get saucy with me when you clearly don't know the first thing about sauce. I'm trying to concentrate.
They don't care about us. We're
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on. One of us will get our own. And we just skipped the part when I mad, insufferable, surely. I'll tell you if you can keep it quiet for me to listen.
Never thought you'd end up a prison guard, Vic.
That right? I always knew you'd turn out rotten, Ben Mest. Your kind always hung closest to our divine, like wolves around a campfire.
Well, you've got this wolf on a leash now.
Soon as the Inquisitor gets here, we'll hang you right over the side of this ship with it.
clean those bubbles, train her. And if she tries to run, shoot to kill. You seem on edge, officer. What on earth is the matter? Murder most foul. Know it. Strongly suspect you know all about it.
I'm trying to.
Do you? Well, perhaps you're absolutely right to cattle to them.
I'll give you that knuckle if you keep carrying on.
One of us will kill our own. They're picking us off one by one.
Can we just skip to the part
part where I reassure you and you shut up.
Me mad.
Mad? Insufferable, surely.
Standing at the center of the room, you spot a sorcerer haughtily eyeing a pair of nervous-looking magisters. They keep their crossbow trained upon her as she's being interrogated by an officer.
So you admit it then? You murdered that poor fella?
Yes, I did. But of course, that was only the beginning.
She turns her head and looks you straight in the eye.
There are others whose lives must end.
Good God, the woman's mad. You there, sorcerer, go and fetch Magister Siwan. We need to do more than collar this maniac. We need to shackle her, hands and feet.
By all means, do as the officer says. But you had better hurry, because...
She reaches for her collar and simply removes it.
I'm just about to create a scene.
Subdue her, men, quickly! If she casts source, the Voidwoken will come. They'll end us all.
She smiles with wicked satisfaction.
Precisely.
That woman, what's she done? She said she was going to make a scene. She wasn't kidding.
No time for chatter. We've got to get out of here.
In a heap on the floor. She's breathing normally, but her eyes are wide open, like those of a corpse. Dark, greyish-black clouds swirl through them.
No.
The dwarf lies in a heap on the floor, his great beard twisted and tangled around him. He is stock still. You can't see if he's living or dead. You hear a faint thud, thud, thud. He's alive, but only just.
Oh! What? What happened? Must have been the turnips. Water? Wine, for goodness sake! Oh!
The lizard's eyes close as he slips into unconsciousness. Ifan lies motionless, curled on the ground like an animal. Under his shaggy hair, you can see green eyes fluttering as if in a nightmare. A low whine escapes his lips. His eyes flicker open, but he doesn't register your presence at all.
Lucien. Lucien.
Ifan cries out, then his eyes fall closed again. No matter how much you shake him now, he cannot be roused.
No, not the final dark. Not yet.
It's no use. Your words do not seem to reach her.
The dice roll darkly. They're rolling for me.
The Magister lies on the floor, unconscious and bleeding from a dire-looking wound.
Not long before this thing snaps into
The hound
splinters.
paws desperately at its snout. It winces as it draws blood from its wet black nose and continues scratching. The dog notices you for the first time and snarls, the hairs on its back prickling as it lowers itself into a lunge.
You sorcerer!
It sneezes suddenly and paws at its nose once more.
Can't smell. Can't breathe. Too much sauce. Too much. Too much. Please, make it stop. Sorcerer.
The dog whines and continues pawing at its nose.
Damn, that doesn't bode well. Onwards and upwards.
Thank the gods. By divine grace, who was that howling?
He eyes the collar circling your neck and reaches a hand towards his blade.
Another sorcerer! Like you don't know? Mutiny! Did that witch fix your collar too? Go on then. Find a place to hide and stay there. You need to find a hiding place. And quick.
God damn it! Need to get off this wreck, and quick!
You pass through the door and are suddenly face to face with an undead. His skull is bizarrely angular, and a glorious jewel sits in the middle of his forehead. The skeleton is quickly leafing through a volume of Cranley Hubert's famous encyclopedia, muttering to himself.
No, no, no! What damn fools record knowledge on a pulped tree? It catches fire, it turns into must when wet, it cannot even resist acid! No wonder they're so bloody ignorant.
The skeleton looks up and notices you for the first time.
Oh. Yes? Shouldn't you be running or screaming or some such?
The skeleton groans and looks back to his book, frantically flipping from page to page.
I know that you were mortal once, but could you not have let their ignorance fall away with your flesh? I have neither lungs to drown nor stomach to poison. This ship's fate does not concern me. No, damp robes are the most I have to fear. Once this glorified skiff hits the sea floor, I will simply walk to shore. You, on the other hand, would be better placed finding a lifeboat. I dare say you would be hopelessly lost in the ocean's dark heart. I believe you did, although I was wearing the face of an elf at the time. I had a mask rather ingeniously designed, which allowed me to take that primitive form. A mask that was stolen by that damned witch after her little scene. Still, she'll drown with the rest of these fools, and I will simply pluck my mask from her cold, dead hands. Indeed, just as sensible as getting off a sinking ship and leaving a fellow to his business. I would say good day, but it seems quite likely that you're about to die a rather terrible death, so...
The skeleton shrugs casually and returns to his book.
A lifeboat! That means there's still a chance.
My ball! You do it!
Shut your trap, kid. Children and dwarfs first, just like the old stories say.
The dwarf yanks at one of the nearby ropes to no avail.
You said there were other people down there. We need to help them.
You see those tentacles, kid? It's time for getting the hell out of here.
Thank you, thank you, thank you! There's a ladder right over there. You can go straight down.
You're gonna be the death of us, you hear?
Get yourself on the ladder. There's a boat. Wait! Void Woken!
Fearless bugs won't sink the ship on my watch.
They who are about to triumph.
Let the games begin.
I've faced worse.
I thought Void Woken was supposed to be scary.
I hear something. It's Magister Silty. One who put on this damn collar. Sounds like she needs help.
Away! The sea's hungry.
We need to wait.
There's no time.
I have plans for you, child. Rise.
Honorable Dallas, we lost a ship sailing sorcerer prisoners to Fort Joy. We assume some escaped and broke their collars. Their vile magic lured the Voidwoken. All who were aboard are presumed dead. Yours faithfully into eternity, High Judge Oriven.
Did you see them? The Voidwoken. They made short bloody work of our ship.
Thanks to that strange voice, we might be the only survivors.
Let's head to the fort. We'll be safer there. I think. Perhaps we can have something done about these collars while we're at it. I thought the Order would get rid of any trace of the old Source King.
The child has a small mirror in his hands. He holds it up at angles, inspecting his eyes, his chin, the crown of his head. He spots you, and his arms snap to his sides.
I'm not supposed to talk to lizards. Really? Like, what kind of stories? A dragon that marries an elf? That sounds silly. Can I hear it anyway?
You warmly tell the tale of the dragon, but despite your best efforts, you notice that your knowledge of legends and monsters is somehow upsetting the child.
Are you a sorcerer? One of those guys that brings the bad void things here?
The child looks at you straight on, unafraid, searching your face. He lifts his mirror to his nose, closes one eye, and looks at himself again.
I don't see any source on you or me. I guess they're wrong. Or crazy. Maybe you're right. At least they don't mind where anyone goes. They know we can't leave the island, and it's a lot nicer out here than inside. They're gone now. The Magisters took them already. I guess now they're cured. And maybe they're waiting for me back at home. But you didn't die. I guess I am, but it's just normal to be scared. Nowhere isn't scary. There isn't anywhere safer. That's what I mean. You'll see.
Voidwoken. Those are the same beasts that sank our ship. Damn, they made it to shore.
Stare at the slain beasts and comment that they must have been the cause of the shipwreck.
I just want to get out of here before any more of these things show up.
I don't relish having killed these creatures, but it couldn't be helped.
I never feel good after having slain a beast, even a bloodthirsty one.
I'm in no mood to risk facing more of these things. It's time to move on. Drowned and eaten by a Voidwoken. I wonder in which order.
here, Quercus. Another giant. My word, this blasted isle is teeming with them. What's that? Yes, I did see how it made short work of the great acorn servants. Quite right, very impressive. But that is no reason to trust it. Giants like that destroyed our forests. They are the very reason the great acorn is returning in all its wrath. What? Dear me, have you taken leave of all 6 of your senses? You would have me use this giant for a shield? Why would I... Oh, I see. You cunning devil, Quercus. Of course, if it defeated the great acorn's vile servants, it can do so again. We need only follow in its big, wide shadow and be safe. Egad! It speaks our tongue, Quercus! Hush before... What do you mean, a good time for introductions? You know full well who I am, you silly old cat. The great Salora, grandest of the... Oh, introduce myself to the giant. I shall do no such thing. You give away your trust too easily, my dear steed. No, we will have the giant march. In time, we'll see whether it deserves our confidence. Now, onwards! Shield! Venture forth, post-haste. The great acorn waits for no one.
You spot a strange lizard gazing over the water with a steady, malcontent stare. His skin is of a bright, blood-red color. Could he be... Yes, you recognize him from the ship. It would seem you're not the only one who survived the tentacles of the deep. The lizard turns about with the graceful ease of a dancer, or a duelist. You lock eyes with his, 2 smouldering embers that sizzle your very soul.
And a dutiful servant you are too. The chances are I wouldn't have survived that shipwreck had you not returned to the aid of your master down that dreadful hole. You have my gratitude.
Hand over heart, he salutes you with a bob of the head. More than a nod, though less than a bow.
Yes, I'm sure you've all the makings of a hero and all that, but let's not get carried away, shall we? Nevertheless, one good turn does deserve another, so as far as the whole slave business is concerned, let's just forget about it. You may as well have your freedom. Now then, if there's nothing further... I'm sure I don't mean to sound condescending, but I had thought it quite self-evident I was gazing out over the waves.
He sighs dramatically.
Tell me. What do you see when you cast your glance over this ocean? Memories. Quite so.
He looks out over the water once more, and so do you. A few tranquil moments pass as the waves lap against your thoughts.
As for myself, when I consider this vast expanse before us, I see an empire. I see continents dotted with mighty cities. And shimmering along the soft curve of the sea's horizon, I picture the palaces that formed my paradise. Lost. Of course, it's rather specific. Quite obviously, I'm musing over the very actual empire that I lost.
Suddenly, having all the air of being deeply offended, he stares at you with utter incredulity.
Well, don't just stand there gawking like an ape at an abacus. Or do you really mean to tell me you don't know who I am? The very same. I am the Red Prince, the All-Conqueror, the World-Tamer, the Spouse of the Sun. Of course you know me.
There's a brief moment's pause, during which his grandiloquent pose deflates ever so slightly.
That said, I suppose I must own up to the fact that I find myself rather in between all-conquering and world-taming opportunities at the moment. The grandeur that is my fate has hit a bit of a snag. But never you worry. For the throne I was destined, and my throne I shall have. Then by all means, dash.
He watches you depart without another word, then turns back to face the sea.
Black cat. Hello, kitty.
The cat's eyes are clouded and grey, but it stares at you with acute intensity.
What? How did I get... Hey, stop following me. What? No, that can't be. I can't... Hey, stop following me. Huh? Yeah, fine. I'm fine. I'm not sure. It's all a little foggy.
The cat opens his mouth as if to speak, but his eyes lose focus, and with a jerk he turns away from you.
What's this? I found something. Let's hope this is worth the digging. What's this? I found something. Almost there. wonder where this leads.
You walk up to a skeleton unlike any you have ever seen before. His skull seems to be carved into intricate patterns with a gemstone sitting in the middle of his forehead. Approaching, you hear a profane rumble from the undead beast.
Bugger. How on earth am I supposed to... Oh. Perhaps...
Skeletal fingers reach down and grip the skin of the dead man's face, pulling sharply upwards. After a few more tugs at the man's cheeks, the skeleton relents, letting the head drop to the ground with a damp thud.
Damnation. That stuck fast. I wonder, does the beard act as some form of anchor? Ah! No! Stay back! Don't... Oh, it's you. I must admit I'm surprised. Perhaps you're more buoyant than I suspected. It seems the human that stole my mask was rather more resourceful than I gave her credit for. I chased her here, but she rather seems to have given me the slip. Thus...
He turns back to the body, prodding at its face cautiously.
Why, its face, of course. What other use would I have for some rotting corpse? A face that seems rather stubbornly attached to his skull. I would normally employ a tool to delicately but viciously rip the face from the body. I could then craft a mask to hide my bone. But as I lack such a tool...
The skeleton grabs the corpse by the cheeks and pulls hard, grunting in frustration as the body's skin holds firm.
Because my own was stolen from me. And the idea of being chased across Rivellon by every idiot with a torch does not appeal. Oh, get away! Monster! Hide the children! Oh. You are simple beasts. And you simply do not like my... Well, not my kind, but those that look like me. So, if I am to traverse this land, I will need a mask to disguise my features. Simply put, I am an Eternal, and you are not. You have my sympathies. Indeed, no one seems to have the good taste to be. My people are rather absent. At least from this realm. As for the others... Well, there is an excavation site at the Black Pit's oil fields. Perhaps there I'll find my answers. Well, that hardly seems relevant. But if you must know, I was inconvenienced for a time. Several centuries, in fact. Or perhaps millennia. One tends to lose track. I was sealed in a tomb for daring to be curious about the world. It seems our king did not agree that the universe should be explored to its full potential. Perhaps I should thank him. It seems I was spared whatever happened to the others. I wonder if flowers would be appropriate. A cult? Hardly. We were a race that existed before the idea of race was needed. We were all one. I could ask you to imagine an Eternal as a creature of incredible intelligence and skill. But I fear the limits of your imagination would not do us justice. We studied the mysteries of the universe. We created works of great art. We disappeared. But I will find them. Wherever they are, I will find them. We will have our world again. Ah, well, that is the curious thing. They are clearly absent from this world, and yet they are everywhere. Every one of your races resembles them in some manner, and the statues you have built to your gods look remarkably familiar. Perhaps my people have ascended to some new realm, or perhaps your gods are merely a folk memory. Regardless, they are not here. But I will find them. Wherever they are, I will find them. I suppose, circumstances being what they are, it could be advantageous. You seem more at ease in this world than I. A guide would certainly be useful. Excellent. While we are conversing, perhaps you notice that I am rather skilled in, well, all things. Of course, the arcane arts are my little speciality, But being a brilliant wizard does not mean I cannot handle blade or bow. So, which do you require for this enterprise of yours? Ah, you seek a more subtle approach. How surprisingly civilized. Very well. What do you require? I could do that with one hand behind my spine. Now, shall we get on? There is rather a lot to see. Splendid. Very well. Let's be off.
Where is she? You go with us. Who are you? Are you from the shelter? She says nothing of another. Fire, alas! She is so late! Never mind. It is not your concern. You leave. But...
She leans forward. Her eyes are wet with fear as she takes your hand.
please, do not lead anyone here.
You hear a small whimpering sound from behind a basket. You peer behind it and find a small human child holding her knees and trembling. She looks up at you as if to answer, but recoils at the sight of you and buries her face in her knees once more.
Because you're a master. Master sent us here. Me and Ma and Pa. She was not a nice lady. Lizards aren't nice ladies. They beat me. Gee, you don't sound like a master. You're nicer than the others. But I still miss my Ma and Pa. Parents are the best. They take care of you and make sure nothing can hurt you. And when they leave, you're all alone.
Her eyes lock with yours for a moment. She places her head on her knees and sits quietly.
Can you feel it, cousin? Can you feel the darkness approaching? It is as if I'm being chilled from the inside out. I have become ice, frozen by an unimaginably black shadow. It threatens to consume me. It threatens to consume all.
Swallowed too much seawater by the looks of him. What's this?
Aye, the giant takes notice of its charges. Dear me, it has questions, Quercus. Why, yes, I suppose answering them is the polite thing to do. Speak, Shield! What are your queries? A giant body, but no giant brain, eh, Quercus? Surely even the tall folk know that Rivellon was bare before the great acorn fell from above and seeded the Irwood, covering this land in beautiful, perfect forests. Beautiful and perfect until the giant races, no offense, realized they could use it to build their houses and fuel their fires. They carved the Irwood up, and the forests shrank and shrank. None of the original wood remains. But someday, the great acorn will fall again. The forests will be reborn, and the giant races will be wiped from this world. At least that's what I hear. Oh, Quercus, it wants answers. As if it is the first creature to ponder the big questions of the universe. What tree did the great acorn fall from? Where did that tree come from, if not a greater acorn? Could you build a nest great enough to store the great acorn for the winter? Some questions have no answers. Quercus, why is that so difficult to understand? The great acorn will come. It will destroy the world, and squirrels will reign supreme forever. I fail to see what's so difficult to grasp. What do you say, Quercus? We once believed it was good, but now... No, quite right. As terrible as the giants have been to us, we do not want to see them wiped out. Rather, we must find a way to live together in peace, giant and squirrel.
Solora stops short, then shakes his head and pats Quercus affectionately.
Squirrels change, don't they, Quercus? Priorities change. If we do not adapt, we are sure to perish. Indeed, Quercus. Let's be off.
Never hurts to get your claws dirty now and then.
lady. It's a lot nicer here than that stinking boat, huh? I'm sure glad you went back to save the others. Saw one of them wringing out their tunic at the shore a few hours ago. Say hi for me.
Stay back, sorcerer, and stay silent. Our Godwoken speaks.
We know you've been helping sorcerers escape, Atusa. We have proof.
I'd sooner cut my tongue out than lie to you, Alexander. I know nothing of any escapees.
If you can tell the Godwoken no more, your tongue is of no use. Cut it out.
This can't be serious, Alexander. Come!
You should know by now to obey your superior, Magister, whatever she may ask.
Atusa pinches the tip of her tongue with 2 fingers and brings her dagger to its root. Her eyes squeeze shut. Drops of blood form against the dagger's edge and quickly fall to the ground. She groans.
Stop! My father, may his soul rest in peace, would be disappointed in you, Atusa. To think you would lie to his only son, your bishop, and your friend these many years. The fate of our realm hangs in the balance. If you will not help us save it, then you will help the Void destroy it. Dallas?
Yes, Your Holiness?
I believe we're done here.
What a waste. Come, we'll be
The lizard magister, or what's left of her, lies in a puddle of gore.
The cruelty of it makes me sick.
So much for divine order compassion.
That poor Magister.
These creatures are so prone to violence. Naturally, the weaker specimens suffer.
A single name throbs across your brain. Verdas, Verdas, Verdas. He must escape. He cannot die here. He cannot.
I got my eye on you, Scaly. Don't try any of that sauce business on my watch, or I'll do to you what the hammer did to that traitor. Missed quite the scene. The bishop himself with his right hand laid down the law of a traitor among our own ranks. One of the last lizard magisters left. Burst into quite the bloody mess she did. Bishop's a son of the dead divine. Don't know when we'll get a new one, but Alexander's looking after us in the meantime all the same. And the hammer's a solid sort. Don't take no guff and don't stand for no idling. Earned that name for a reason, she did. When you give up the darkness that's inside you.
Take your fault it's there, mind. But it's there all the same. They're working on a cure for you even now. Got some good leads, so I hear. You can trust Dallas to take care of it. And once you're cured, your life will start again. During the time of Lucian, of course. Who wouldn't join up with God himself? It was all glory, all goodness. When we lost him, well, it only made sense to see his will through. Can't for certain, but I reckon when God himself gives his life to protect you, you don't waste the gift. You protect it with everything you've got. So that's what we do.
Did you see 'em? You did, right? Those claws. Wonder what's behind the masks, too. Can't be pretty. That, Magister, that was Bishop Alexander, leader of the Divine Order, and his right hand, Dallas. How do you not know this? Better get to it, then. A Magister will come and find you when they're ready for you. Could be a while, though. We're up to our hoods in sinners these days.
Come on then, Lexi. Pay up.
You, help me teach this beast. He must respect. If not, he comes for you next.
Respect? Huh. Someone's got to keep this place running. Griff can't do it for free. Why'd you gotta make this so hard?
An intense-looking man steps between the thug and the elf and rolls up his sleeves, revealing well-muscled and heavily scarred arms. You recognize him. It's Ifan, who you met aboard the ship on the way here.
Just stand aside, won't you, mate? This is no business of yours.
Lone wolves decide their own business.
The thug freezes in fear for a moment, before shuffling back to the protection of his crony.
Pay up, elf. No one shorts Griff. Especially not one of you.
Burrow looks you both up and down, sizing up your combined threat.
Ah, get out of here. The both of you. You ain't worth the sweat of my brow anyhow.
The elf smiles and bows to you in thanks.
Follow me, before more of them trouble us. There is a safe place.
Ifan rolls his sleeves back down. He nods at you, the shadow of a smile on his lips.
Good work there. Good work. I can tell you've got chops. Say, you were on the ship here with me, weren't you?
He stretches out one rough hand to shake yours. He grips your hand tight as a vice and shakes it, hard.
Say, you don't look all that busy now that we're safely on dry land. I could use someone to watch my back, and it looks like you could use someone to watch yours. I've just got a small errand to run, and then I'll be looking to get the hell out of here while I've still got a neck to collar. How about we stick together until we get out of this place?
He shrugs, looking off to the side.
Mercenaries. It's a job. My job. The usual way. Haphazard, terrifying, and drenched in blood. Haven't quite worked out the details yet, but I'll wager it'll be no worse than what'll happen if we stay put. 2 heads are better than 1, and when push comes to shove, 4 fists are better than 2, right? No harm having a friend in this place. One hand washes the other and all that. Trust me, there'll be plenty of filth to wash off around here. But suit yourself. Like I said, suit yourself. If you change your mind, you know where I am.
You're kinda getting too big for your boots, you know? Bloody cavies. Ought to keep out of our hair if you don't want to pay for the pleasure.
What of it? Yeah, what of it?
Griff's right hand, Topsy-Goo. Looky here, mates. A fresh face. We love fresh faces, don't we? Oh, yes, we do. Why don't you join us in a round of cards? First hands on the house. No problem, Freshie. In that case, enjoy your stay. But I'll be needing to collect your interment fee first, of course. I'm sure the Reds told you. No one gets along without paying the interment fee. So, let's make this easy. Empty. Well, you've heard of it now, ain't ya? Go on then, Freshie. Turn 'em out. We'll see about that, Freshie.
You there, lizard? I'm looking for an inmate. A smallish man, thick spectacles, prone to somewhat eccentric chatter. He wears a large bronze pendant with a dragon stamped into it. Have you seen him? Useless. It is a very important matter that I locate this Migo. Tell me if you hear mention of him. Come on, old man. I can't wait all day.
She ain't coming back.
I'm not mad, darling. I'm not mad. Sweetheart?
Pipe down, Farah. It's time to accept reality.
You there. You've just arrived, isn't that right? Are you quite alone? It's just, I've a proposition. Something very worth knowing. But it's hardly a group affair. I only need one. Oh, noble. But after the Magisters take you all, your nobility will have been for nothing. Good luck with your friends, though. Enjoy your last days in good company, won't you?
When another divine arrives,
Will Source change back? Yes, but this place has made you cranky. Perk up, old chap. There's plenty of singletons about.
Leave me be, Sam.
I only mean that if you think about it logically, you're much better off. Come on, chap. Don't be unreasonable.
The old dog looks up at you but doesn't lift his greying head from his paws. He heaves a heavy sigh.
I'm Buddy. It's no use anyway. You're nice. Emmy would have loved you. She was my mate for the last 7, carried the 2, plus 50. 5 years! The Magisters, they took her. I love you. Say, let me show you something.
Frightfully busy at the moment, love. Haven't got any liquor on hand, have you? This fella could use a little comfort. All the wars for old Dane. He crossed one of Griff's card sharks and got a club to the skull. Doomed to be sure, but I would have liked to ease his way out. Lucky you came out of it at all. Plenty of folks around of here haven't, and it's me who ends up wrist deep in the gore.
Think you're so fancy with your flashy abracadadoodle, don't you? Fat, who needs you? Fat chance. I'd wrestle death to the ground and make him scream my name for such a dainty toe in the Hall of Echoes. All you did was save the bastard a good beatdown. I caught a blow too many from those card-playing fatheads up on the ramparts. I got myself a golden ticket. I didn't even get the chance to use it. Why don't you take it? They offer you a round of cards. This one guarantees you a win. It's called the Sparkler. Whoever's got it gets the pot.
filched it from that hog Griff himself. Careful, though. If you ain't as skilled a fighter as me, you'll end up on Dr. Lest's table with the rest of the lilies.
Our healer's walk is never done. Unless everyone's dead, of course.
Griff and his lads won't know what hit him. Medicine. What a shame. All you need's a strong constitution and the gods will take care of the rest.
Is that thing eating corpses?
The creature heaves through lips gummed with human gore. It turns to you with great effort, pain apparent in every movement, and madness screams from its wide, bloodshot eyes.
You. Quite lost. Quite lost. Careful, or they'll cross your wires. Now, a little query. Where grows the yarrow? Quickly now, for I haven't much time.
The creature gingerly takes the plant into his bloodied hands. He runs his fingertips over the white flowers. His panting breath slows.
Darling, dear darling child. Hello, yarrow girl. Can it really be you?
The creature clenches the plant tightly. His breath quickens. He seems liable to lunge at you at the drop of a pin.
You wouldn't understand. A father's pride, a father's love.
The creature begins to weep. Fast, silent tears spill from his eyes as he clutches the little cluster of flowers to his heart.
For you, my ring, part of me, name of Migo. Thank you. Pretty.
You hated your work for the Order. You wanted to be a stonemason, marry the baker. You still dream about it every night.
Griff and his lads won't know what it's.
Don't disturb me again, unless you've seen me go. You have seen him? Tell me, where was he? And you're very sure it was him?
She inspects the ring closely.
This can't be. You said he was upon the beach, yes? I need to have a look myself. This simply can't be.
So this is Fort Joy.
What a crumbling disaster.
Oh, is that really you?
Little Yarrow girl. Grown up, flower-headed girl.
What have they done? Beast! Watch your mouth, inmate. You're in the presence of an honorable man. Don't be obscene. He's as human as you or I. They've only put him through something terrible. It's strange. It almost reminds me of the creatures Dallas keeps at her side. Sometimes you hear a kind of muttering beneath their masks.
She reaches out to touch her father's hand. He withdraws it quickly before remembering himself and reaching out to Yarrow again.
I had no idea. What a fool I am. There were always rumors about the Hammer. Dallas, that is. What she was doing with the prisoners she hauled off to her fortress. Why they never joined the rank and file thereafter. I suppose now I know. Wait, before you go, you've helped us a great deal today. Let me help you too. Take this key. I'll show you where you can use it. It opens a door leading into the fort that may help you get out of this wretched place. It isn't too late for you. Not yet. What's happened? What have they done to you?
Darling? Yarrow girl?
It was her, wasn't it? The monster.
Don't think of the ugly now. Here I am. Here you are. Here we are. Darling? Yarrow girl?
A little reprieve from the din outside.
Thank you for your help with that, thug. No doubt he turns on you next. These humans hate us.
She bows.
I hear of no escapes. The only way out is through. Through the Magisters, through their cure. Thugs, I can stand, but I fear the Magisters. In this cave, we trust the healer. She is young, but she sees. She knows more than we know. In the camp, the brute Griff rules. He who gives the bread has the power. It gives me great pain. I'm with my family. We are making beautiful magic. We are healing a tree cut down with great violence. The Magisters come. My family runs, but I fall. My son looks back. I shout to him to run. I am taken. Wait, before you go, I am not here without your help. I do not forget this. For you, a prize. I save it for a special occasion, but I can think of no finer occasion than this. Thank you.
You're cheating! I magicked you! You're dead!
You cover your face with your hands. You've just heard the news. The elven homelands have been destroyed by death fog. It was your order who did it. How can this be? The young girl's eyes are covered, but she turns towards you when you approach. She smiles as though she recognizes you, though she couldn't have seen your face.
Ah, hello. I see you come a long way. I see you come here seeking a great adventure. Do you find it? I see it before my eyes. It is not so bad. I know which days have bread and which days have none. I know more bread comes someday. It helps. Your life is not your own. Your life is for us all. I cannot say more. You see someday.
Her eyebrows shoot up.
There can be a way. Amiro knows. But he is gone. Do you see him? He knows how to leave. My protector, my friend. An elf like me, with a spirit bright as new leaves. He tries to help me, to save me, and he suffers very much. He is caught by those who hurt him. I wish so much for his return. And he tells you what you seek. A way out. You bring me great peace. Thank you, my friend. I miss him very much. I see something that helps. I see a lizard. He is a lizard of many dreams, of far feeling. You do not free Amiro without him. I feel him, but I do not see him.
Griff and his lads won't know what it is. Perhaps those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
You get my name here?
Leave him be. Don't make me say it again.
Listen, I can help you if you just...
Shut up, elf. This clown, you caught him stealing from my kitchen. Still won't say where he stashed my supplies. Sound like someone you'd let off with a slap on the wrist. Caught him red-handed trying to make off with a second crate after he took the first. Went down like a rent boy when we grabbed him. Easy. Supplies. crate of food, citrus in particular. He'll talk, or he'll die quiet. Alls I want is my supplies. Happy to let this clown die in a gutter instead of my kitchen. Bring back my crate, and you got yourself a deal. Ain't fit for beasts.
If a magister finds this on you, you forget my name here.
Worse than war rations, these.
Good.
An elf, caked in mud and blood, looks up at you from the bottom of the cage. He holds his shoulder at a strange angle. Despite his condition, he appears eager for your attention.
You believe what he says? That I am a thief? Deceptive. Like most men behind bars, I'm innocent. Like most of us here on the island, in fact. Aren't you like me, looking for a way out? I do. I prepare it myself. One only has to follow the path. But you guess I need something too. Griff tells you, does he not? I take his supplies. But I don't take what he thinks. I do not have his oranges. I do not even see them. I tell you what I know. But first, I want to make a trade. I know a way out. I show you. And you help me out of here. I cannot die in this cage. Finally, progress. Griff releases me if he sees I do not have what he misses. You must find who steals them. After I am free, you are free. I see no one. In fact, I only hear the sound of Griff clearing his throat. You know how he does? Like so. For some time, I think Griff takes his own supplies. But I see the anger in him that he does not find it. He truly does not find what he seeks. Griff is a powerful man. Power is mysterious. In case you haven't noticed. I intend no harm. I want only some provisions. A bit of bread, a potato or two. Nothing Griff should be loath to give. I need to escape, and I have people to consider. You understand? Thank you. And hurry. Please.
Keep it down, will ya?
Understand? Then why do you wake a dreamer? You should know. You should know. Oh, I was so close. And you smell of burnt hair and barren dreams. But I have the good breeding not to mention it. So close to the dream. It's been so long. You wouldn't understand. Please, please leave me be.
The lizard startles awake, his eyes narrowing to furious slits as he realizes it was you who woke him. Suddenly, his expression breaks. He looks utterly defeated.
What then? What is it? Supplies? You mean the oranges, I suppose. Though I'd guess Mr. Griff is more upset about the Drudine than the citrus. The Drudine Griff cleverly smuggles into the prison, of course, stuffed inside the oranges. You don't think he'd really be so mad over a little missing fruit, do you? No, it's not the oranges, but the dreams he's after. Same as I, though. I have the right, the responsibility. You, my kin, ought to understand. And you'll believe me when I tell you, I need to dream. Before I was caught, before I was brought here, I saw a vision. The void woken, slain, divinity restored. But just as I was about to see how it happened, the Magisters beat down my door. This is my last chance to find out the secret, to find out how to save us all. So you see, I cannot give back the Drudine, not only for myself, but for all of us. My dreams are my gift. They may be our salvation, too. Fine, take the Drudine. I'll find more. Another way. Somehow, I have to, for all our sakes.
I think this was the crate I was after. Looks like Stingtail cleared out most of the contents, though.
You come to fight. You come to prove yourself. You come to be worthy. There can be only one, and you have but one chance.
She scoffs.
To prove you are the one. Never mind. The one does not ask such a question. Good. Who aids you? Choose wisely. Whether you fail or succeed, you do not fight more than once.
That was easy.
Well fought. You may yet be the one. You prove yourself again, and again, and again. A warrior traveling the path of the wand should not be collared like a pet. I suggest you see the Tinkerer. You are capable of so much more.
Do not lose hope. The one will arrive in time.
Got it.
Perhaps if those bleeding dwarves didn't eat so much.
Griff glances from his blade to you and back again. Griff tears into one of the oranges with both hands. Juice squirts through his hands as he desperately rips through the rind.
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question. Who's the thief? I'm right chuffed to have my supplies back, so I'm gonna give you one last chance. Tell me who you found them on, or you're gonna have to answer to me, my knife, and each one of my people. And your little elf friend won't make it out alive neither. Oh, you must think I'm playing with you. I don't play. Hand them over.
strong. No way I'll be bested.
It's the beasts.
Got it.
Hands out your pockets now.
Magisters circle an elf, weapons drawn. The hound barks to draw their attention.
Sir, we've got company.
Ah, planning an ambush with this scion, were you? The witch don't fool me. She's wrecked this ship by herself, with a collar on.
I tell you, I am no witch. The spores do this. If I do not find the rest...
Store the elven hedge magic. Weren't much use when we flooded your forest with death fog, were it? Lucian said it was a necessary evil. Me? I was just sorry we didn't get the lot of you.
You. I tried to give you a chance. More than your divine order give mine.
Oh, sir. Her armor!
The scion twitches in sudden rage, and her armor uncoils, as if made of living vines.
No more chances.
Got a new stick for you to chew on.
coil of vines snakes upward from the corpse. After a moment, you realize the gruesome truth. They're not entangling the corpse, but bursting from it. The vines have split the corpse's chest with incredible force. Thin roots wriggle from limbs and nail beds, anchoring it to the ground. The vines encircle a rough depression, as if something held there was violently torn free. You see it all. The tallest of the ancestor trees have been lost beneath swirling clouds of death fog. Nothingness. Emptiness. You sag to the earth, utterly lost, and then you feel it. Not all is dead down in the valley. Spores given off by the ancestor trees. The presence within needs to grow, and it will show you how. But first, you must learn to protect yourself. You are not alone any longer. Later. The ship lurches as the Magisters laugh and take your spores. They think you are that easily parted, that this cell will keep you. But the spores whisper even now. They will protect you. Glances from his Griff tears into...
Looks like everything's accounted for. Now the important question.
This Griff is nothing but a thug. Don't give up Stingtail so easily.
I don't want Stingtail's blood on my hands.
I'm right chuffed to have my supplies back, so I'm gonna give you one last chance. Tell me who you found them on, or you're gonna have to answer... Oh, you must think I'm playing with you.
You eat Griff's hand, and you see him putting animals, dead for days in the blistering sun, whole into his cooking pot. Probably best to pass on the stew.
Well done. Sometimes, the best way from a situation is the simplest. I hope Griff rests in peace, even if he lives in anger. You helped me. You saved me from a terrible man. But still there is more I ask of you. I know a way out of here, and this I tell you. But there is something else. Sahela. She is everything. A ruler, a seer, a knower, a child. She cannot be lost here. It is for all our people, for the world. Give me your map. I show you the way out. A secret, dangerous, but it leads to freedom.
I give you this amulet. You must pass it to the elves who still remain. Tell them Sahela is here. They will send help. Please. She is important.
I go to her. I wish you good luck, and I thank you for us all.
Griff and his lads won't know what it's
A healer's walk is never done. Unless everything's dead, of course.
I sense he is free. He comes. He comes back to me.
Sahela, you are all right.
I am fine, Amiru. I am fine. I know they help us.
Yes, they do. It is as you say. Quite well again. Then this is very good. Sahela is all right. I still protect her. She does not die here. She does not die here. Thank you. Do not forget what I ask of you. Sahela cannot stay here. She is too important, too rare. Our people must find her. I heal. We count on you still. To tell the elves who remain, the elves who roam, to bring them here. She is not lost here. Anyone can be lost, but not her. She is very special. She sees how we will survive. The Void Woken, the dead divine. She leads us back home. All of luck to you. Do not forget what I give you. Take it to the elves who roam the mainland. They come here. They save her. They save all of us.
She breaks into a huge, childlike grin as you approach.
One friend brings another home. Thank you. He gets better. Little by little, we are together. We always get better if we are together.
Her face falls at the mention of her home. Her hands fly instinctively to her eyes, as if to wipe away tears, but she stops herself.
My people, I miss them, but they cannot save me. It is not to be. We stay in Fort Joy. They stay elsewhere. This is the way. This is the only way. Homeland is gone. Home is wherever my people are. My mother is amongst them. Tova, a great elf. I do not mind Fort Joy, but I miss her very much. Yes, it is a deep hurt. In my tribe, we say, the heart lives in the family cookpot. It is true, I think. Thank you, my friend. But only you survive the passage. I see it. You are free. We must remain. Thank you, dear one. You do not regret it. You see.
She squeezes your hand.
I do not forget you. Remember me too.